Okay, here we go.
I need to have my ID. I'll be like, I'm over 18.
No, he's not 18, but that's okay. Here's our fifth guy.
I've gone on a field trip to the Little White House with my son, who's in fifth grade, his fifth grade class. I realized how much Franklin D. Roosevelt did for this country in time of despair. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 32nd President of the United States, a true American and brought about the American dream. I want to tell you a little bit about him, his history, and what he's done for Georgia and for the entire United States. Franklin D. Roosevelt was born in Hyde Park, New York on January 30th, 1882. He is the son of James and Sarah Roosevelt. He was homeschooled by his parents until high school, and then he went to Groton Preparatory School, which was a prestigious school in Massachusetts. He graduated from Harvard in 3 years with a BA in history, then attended law school at Columbia University. He passed the bar, but he never received his degree from there. Then he married Anna Eleanor and had 6 children, which 5 survived infancy. He was elected in the Senate in 1912 and was appointed by Woodrow Wilson as Assistant Secretary of the Navy in 1913. In 1921, he contracted poliomyelitis, or infantile paralysis. He never regained the use of his legs. In 1926, he decided to buy 12,000 acres in Warm Springs, Georgia, because he heard that the water there might help his polio. He also founded the Warm Springs Foundation. He found out that the water did not cure his polio, but it did lessen the effect. The facility there was the first modern facility for paralysis in the country. Then in 1932, he built the Little White House when he was governor of New York. During his presidency, which he was elected in 1933 and served 4 terms, the Great Depression was here, and he developed New Deal programs to try to get out of the Depression while he was in Warm Springs, Georgia. Some things he did was like the Rural Electrification Administration. He knows that only 10% of people in the South had electricity. He figured that if he could bring electricity to the farmers, he could help their farms run more efficiently. He also helped start the Agriculture Adjustment Administration, which is the AAA, and they supported farm prices. He also had the Civilian Conservation Corps to help employ young men. Other agencies he assisted was Business and Labor, Insured Bank Deposit, which is now known as FDIC, regulated the stock market, subsidized home and farm mortgages payments, and aided the unemployed. During his presidency, banks reopened, and direct relief saved millions from starvation. Even though he was from an elite society, he was a common man. In Warm Springs, he would swim with the people and listen to their problems. He loved to play with the children in the water. When Hitler attacked Poland in September 1939, Roosevelt stated that although the nation was neutral, he did not expect America to remain inactive. FDR tried to make American aid available to Britain, France, and China. In 1941, he decided that America must go to war. One day in Warm Springs, Franklin D. Roosevelt was having his portrait painted. While being painted, he suffered a massive stroke, and he died 2.5 hours later in his bed in Warm Springs. That produced the unfinished painting, as we have heard about, and it is still on display in Warm Springs Museum today. He died on April 12, 1945 at age 63. His death came on the eve of complete military victory of Europe and with months of victory over Japan. After his death in 1952, The polio vaccine came out and has helped children ever since. He is also responsible for the March of Dimes. Franklin D. Roosevelt was a great president and a wonderful person. He never let his disability take the best of him. He usually never came in front of people in the wheelchair. He would stand at his lectern similar to this, holding on one side or the other so he could move the other arm and not allowing people to see that he was disabled. He gave so much for his country. He is a model of what every president and what every American should aspire to be.